Well, hello, quilting friends, and happy Feature Friday, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm so glad to have y'all here. I want to tell you that we are going to be working on a project today that I have had in mind for quite a while. I actually picked up a majority of the components for this when we were at the Houston International Quilt Festival in October, early November. And I didn't have the fabric that I wanted for it. And then when we were at Road to California just the other week, I found the fabric that I thought would be perfect for it. Now I have everything to make this project. I'm sharing it with you because we're going to do a quilted component of it. And I'm going to be doing that on my long arm, but also because I want y'all to hold me accountable so that I don't just start this and then put it in timeout and not make it. I really have been wanting to do this project. I've never done one of these before, and I thought it would be a fun challenge. I need something like this in my life, and so I'm gonna have to finish it so that I post pictures for you guys, and I'm accountable to you to getting this project done. So I'm going to turn you guys around, show you what I'm working with, and then we will get started on making the quilted component for it. All right, so I am short on space here, so I'm actually using my smaller setup as a table. I have got my cardboard cutting mat out with everything laid out. And if you can see any of this and you've done one of these projects before, you've probably figured out that it is a By Annie's bag. So I have chosen to do this Out to Lunch 2.0 tote. So it's supposed to be like a lunch bag. So if you take your lunch to work, or if you like to meet people and have picnics somewhere, this is a great lunch tote. But I saw this in person and thought that is the perfect size bag for me to carry as a purse. So I'm going to make this for my new spring handbag to carry around, but with some fabrics that I love, and I am not going to use this as a lunch bag. It came with tons of directions. I did read through all of them first to make sure that I knew what was going on. It's got this great layout guide to tell you how to cut your fabrics, both if you're doing the small size and the large size. And what we are missing is cutting out our main fabric and lining fabric and cutting are soft and stable. So in the pattern, it wants you to cut all these peaches out individually and then sandwich them up and quilt them on your home sewing machine. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do it on our long arm. So I found this absolutely adorable Japanese cotton fabric at the Road to California show with these giant strawberries on it. And if anybody knows me who's watching this, like my mom or my aunt, they know I'm allergic to strawberries. So this is the only way I can consume strawberries is on fabric. It's one of my favorite prints to have strawberries on fabric. So I thought this would be a perfect print for a spring and summer handbag. And I'm gonna lift this up here for you guys. This here is the soft and stable that is recommended for in the bags. And I don't know if I can get this close enough and in focus for you, but it's kind of like a foam. And I've never quilted with a foam before. So if anybody's quilted with a foam before and you were brave enough to do it, you know, go ahead and let us know how it went for you. But this is going to be my first try. So I bought a big package of this because I bought multiple patterns from this company because I want to try different things, but it was really easy to cut. And I think this is going to be neat to kind of stitch on this with my long arm. So I do have a lining fabric. It's just kind of a white, heavy cotton. It's not quite a canvas or a twill, but it's pretty close to that because this Japanese cotton is much thicker than a regular cotton. And I just thought, oh, this is going to be perfect for a handbag. So I've got my 3 layers on here. And the packaging for that soft and stable kind of looks like this. It comes in different sizes. So I bought the biggest that I could find so that I can try different bags. So I've got all my layers on here. I did stitch it down kind of along the side and across the top because I didn't know if it would move around on me while I was trying to stitch it. You know, batting usually kind of sticks to your backing, but this didn't like stick down to my backing. So I wanted to make sure it was kind of stitched down across the sides and the top. So let's set up our design and get to stitching and see how this turns out. Now I did already put my layout box, which is representing kind of this upper area of my strawberry fabric. So now we need to add our pattern. I'm gonna go ahead and move up into patterns on my display. And I did choose a very specific pattern to go with this, so we're gonna find that. I'm gonna go ahead and open my little white box down here and highlight that, and I am going to type in the word straw, because if you haven't guessed it, I found a cute little strawberry pattern to stitch out on this with my Butler. I'm gonna highlight this now, and I'm gonna hit my check mark over here. And it has put one adorable little repeat of this strawberry pattern here in our layout box. We've got some work to do here, so let's go ahead now that we've been moved up into our edit feature after we added our pattern to our repeat function, because we definitely need more strawberries. So I'm going to hit my repeat function, and I'm going to work horizontally first, and I am going to increase that horizontal repeat to 7. Probably looks okay once I start with my scaling feature. And then I want to work vertically too, because we want to fill in this whole space with strawberries. I do want it to be pretty dense with design work, because I'm going to be cutting smaller pieces out of this to make the handbag components. So I want to make sure there's plenty of stitching even on the smaller pieces that I have to cut out. So my vertical repeat, I'm going to give it 4. So of course I'm outside on both the bottom and off to the right. So we are going to fix that in our scale feature. So I'm going to hit my scale feature over here. And the one thing I want to make sure I do before I start working with my scale, I don't want to end up with short, squatty looking strawberries or long, skinny strawberries. I want them to keep their design integrity. So I'm going to turn on my proportion lock. That way, as I change my scaling and get them to change size to fit my little orange box here that I created, they're still going to proportionally look the same. I don't want to end up with wobbly looking strawberries. I'm going to go ahead and just hit my auto scale and see what happens. And that did a pretty darn good job of getting my strawberries to fit in my space. I'm going to have to add another repeat over here. So I'm going to go up to repeat and hit my repeat one more time. They did go slightly out over here, so I'm going to hit my scale again and my auto scale one more time to get them to fit in. And I think those are some good looking strawberries. That's going to be nice and dense of a design across the whole area. So I'm going to have 4 rows of strawberries. So that's going to fill in kind of 4 rows within this space here. So I think that's going to be nice and dense. I think we're good here. I think this is going to be really nice, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and hit home. And my needle is highlighted here, and we are going to get stitching. So I'm going to hit my green button, double check that my needle is not down in my fabric so I don't tear it, because I only have 1 yard of this beautiful strawberry fabric, and I don't know that I could get any more. I'd have to try to hunt down the lady who I bought it from. All right, we are going to move to the beginning of our strawberry pattern and go through all of our motions. I'm really interested to see how it stitches through this, you know, a little bit thicker of the 2 fabrics, and then this foam stabilizing here. You know, I want it to be a fun little puffy look, but we'll see what happens. I've never used it before. I'm going to do a single stitch according to my directions here. I'm going to move my machine out of the way and pull out my bobbin thread. I've got both my tails here, so I will hit my check mark. We're going to recenter into place. I will cycle my needle to lock my stitches. I will hit my check mark. And then I'm going to turn my long arm here on and check mark on my display. And off we go. So this is going to take a little while to stitch out, so I'm not going to make you guys watch the whole thing. But I think this is going to turn out really cute, and I can already see, you might not be able to see it from here, but it's got a little puff to it, which is exactly what I was hoping for with this soft and stable on the inside instead of batting. I think that's going to make for a really cute purse. So I'm going to come back to you guys when this is all stitched out. All right, everybody, we are done stitching out this section of all of our adorable little strawberries. I am in love with how this looks. And if you run your hands on it, you can actually feel that our little strawberries are raised up from that soft and stable. I think this is going to make a great handbag for me. I am so happy with how this turned out. So thank you guys for going on this journey with me using a new product that I have not used before. I can say that so far so good. I'm happy with it. I'm going to keep quilting and get this handbag going. As you can see, sometimes you just have to go for it and give it a try. I did a little bit of pattern manipulation to get it dense enough for this kind of a project. Obviously, if I was on a quilt and using the same pattern, I'd probably want my strawberries a lot bigger, and I wouldn't probably want so many repeats. But on something that's going to end up this small, I wanted to repeat a lot more and make it a lot denser, make sure those strawberries were real close together, because I'm going to cut these out into smaller panels to make that handbag. I hope this inspires you. Maybe you're going to try something new and take on a different project for this spring too. Thanks so much for joining me today, and we'll see you guys real soon. Bye.